Assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much. I want to thank Osama Jamal for inviting me to be with all of you today. It is an honor, it's a privilege for me. As I walked around the convention floor, I met doctors and lawyers and engineers and pharmacists, researchers and technicians and teachers. It's incredible to me. Many of them born not in the United States but elsewhere. And I think as I walked around, the people gathered here tonight have kept the promise of our country. You have defined the American dream. There is no more successful group of immigrants in the history of the United States than the group that's established here tonight. And I salute you for that. Your experience as doctors and lawyers was far different than the Kennedys and the Irish Catholics who arrived after the potato famine in Ireland in the 1850s and 60s. When the Kennedy family arrived in Boston, the Irish were treated as dirty and filthy, ignorant, unteachable, a threat to American society, and a threat to American security. My own grandmother, Rose Fitzgerald Kennedy, before she was the mother of the president, she was the daughter of the mayor of the city of Boston, the first American-born Irish Catholic mayor. And she remembered as a young child walking around the city and seeing above the doors of the restaurants and hotels the letters painted there, N-I-N-A, no Irish need apply. They would not give jobs to the Irish. They couldn't become busboys or waiters or waitresses or hostesses or cooks. They were kept out of industries like doctors and lawyers, business people and bankers. So they did what came naturally. They had large families and they organized. They went into politics. They organized the other ethnic groups because they were not afraid to go into communities filled with African Americans and Italians, the very places that the WASP elites refused to go. And they took over cities like Boston and New York and Chicago. And they recreated the Democratic Party to make it the party of immigrants, the party of the American dream. They created unions and they passed laws to protect each other. That's the history of the Irish Catholics in this country. The Kennedys went on to ascend through politics. My grandfather, Joe Kennedy, was the United States ambassador to Great Britain, and John F. Kennedy traveled the world, and he resented colonialism. He was one of the few members of the Congress and the Senate to support Algerian independence from France. They rejected the notion of continued colonialism in the world. They envisioned an America that was much more democratic and embraced the democracies of the world. In 1965, after President Kennedy's killed, they passed a law to change the immigration rules in the United States. And from then on, we have an inflow of people from India and Pakistan, Palestine, Bangladesh. And it changes our country and makes it better. And we need to remember where we came from, that we arrived here today. No great change in American history has ever come without people taking to the streets. Women would never have gotten the right to vote had they not taken to the streets. Had labor not taken to the streets, we never would have gotten the unionization movement in the United States. We never would have gotten the 1964 Civil Rights Act had Martin Luther King not led the March on Washington. We would not have stopped the Vietnam War had the kids not shut down college campuses. There are 400,000 Arabs and Muslims living in Illinois. in the last Democratic primary in 2014, the gubernatorial primary, only 500,000 people voted. If every Arab and Muslim voted this election, you could control the outcome. You can control the outcome of the election. That is your duty. That is your job. That is your calling as Americans. You need to vote. It is the sacred duty. Immigrants are America, and we cannot keep them from becoming Americans. I think of my own experience. When I got engaged, I went to Yvette's Winter Garden. When I went to business school, I went to Kellogg. When I worked at the Merchandise Mart, I was surrounded by the Hancock Building and the Sears Tower. When I ran for governor, I had a great staff. Yvette's was started by Bob Jamgiri, who came from Iran. The Sears Tower, Hancock Building, designed by Fazar Khan. The Mart was rebuilt by Malik Shah from India. When I ran for governor, when I'm running, I'm led by Hannah Jubei and Mo Drameh. You have contributed mightily to my life, and now I must ask you once again, contribute mightily to the future of our state. God bless you all.